Okay, we've got our big test tomorrow. Hopefully you're ready. This first question is about dividing fractions. So we need to use the strategy keep. Let's see if I can get my lighting better here. Keep, change, flip. This is on page 14 in your notebook. And we're supposed to keep the first fraction the same. So this is not the same. This is the same. So is this. So is this. So I can get rid of A. We're supposed to change to multiplication. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. This does not look like multiplication, so I can get rid of that one. And we're supposed to flip this second fraction to its reciprocal, which would be 3/2. So nope, nope, yes, yes. And so we can get rid of this one because it has something wrong. The only one that has 3 check marks, keep, change, and flip, is answer choice C. Okay, number 2, 3/8 of a pie, and Daniel ate 1/3 of that. And I apologize again for my lighting. The window is not helping here. Whenever you see a fraction and then the word of, that tells you need to multiply. And so multiplying fractions is on page 13. So 3/8 times 1/3 is 3/24. But we have to simplify. Both of those are divisible by 3. 3 goes into 3 one time, and 3 goes into 24 8 times. So he ate 1/8 of the pie. If you were to divide, you would get this answer, which doesn't make sense because we didn't even have that much pie to begin with. So how could he eat more pie than was even in the refrigerator? Next question is on page 15 of your notebook. First, we've got to change this fraction to a decimal. We know it's going to be 3 point something. If you know your benchmarks, that will save you some time. If not, you can do Tybo, top in, bottom out, and that would give you 0.2. So 3 1/5 is 3.2, and then we multiply that times 2.75. We have to put the one with the most digits on top. Got first line, placeholder 0. We're done with all of these. When I add them up, I get this. I have to count. There's 1, 2, 3 decimal places in the problem, so I need 3 decimal places in my answer. We don't really need these last 2 zeros, so technically our answer here is 8.8. Next problem is about multiplying fractions. So again, that's going to be on page 13. And we don't want to just guess what would happen if we multiply these. We want to actually multiply them. And so 2 would become 2/1. 2/1 times 1/2. That gives me 2/2. Anytime our numerator and denominator are the same, that's equal to 1 whole. 1 whole is not in between 2 and 3. It's not greater than 3, and it's not less than 1/2. It is bigger than 1/2, but less than 2. So it's in between those two numbers. Okay, on the back, we really struggled today with figuring out if these were multiplying or dividing. So think about what's happening. Let me see if I can fix my light real quick. Okay, that helps. If this girl has a bunch of lemonade that she is pouring out, picture like a big container of lemonade that she's pouring out into cups. She's separating it out into 7 cups. And anytime we're separating stuff out in math, that's going to be division. And dividing fractions is on page 14. First thing we have to do here is MAD. Multiply, add, denominator stays the same. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Denominator stays the same. If we have a whole number, we put it over 1. And then our strategy is keep, change, flip. So we keep this one, we change to multiplication, we flip that one. When I multiply across, I get 7/14. But I can simplify that because both of those are divisible by 7. 7 goes into 7 one time, and 7 goes into 14 two times. So each person is going to get half a gallon of lemonade, which is a lot. But if you were to multiply, you would get 24 and a half if you did it correctly. And it doesn't make sense for everybody to get 24 and a half gallons because we didn't even have that much to begin with. Okay, Dylan goes to the farmer's market, and this is how much he pays all together, and this is how much he bought. So that means they're giving us his total. We just want to know how much he paid for 1 pound. We know how much he paid altogether, so we have to divide 17.25 divided by 1.5. Dividing decimals is on page 12, and the strategy we learned on page 12 was slide, slide, raise the roof. 15 goes into 1 0 times. 15 goes into 17 1 time. And 15 times 1 is 15. 17 minus 15 is 2. We bring down the next number. 15 goes into 22 1 time. That's 15. 22 minus 15 is 7. Bring down that next number. 15 goes into 75 5 times. That doesn't look like money, but remember we can add a 0 to the end of it to make it look like money, and so our answer would be B. A lot of people today multiplied and got 25.88, but if he paid this much for 1.5 pounds, why would he pay more than that for just 1 pound? This is less than what he bought, so our answer should be less. Next question, he's buying 5.6 ounces of coffee, and it's $1.98 per ounce. That's just for 1 ounce. So if he were to get a little scooper and put 1 ounce of coffee into his bag, that's $1.98. But he's putting more than that. He's buying that much. So we've got to multiply $1.98 times 5.6. This is on page 11 of your notebook. This is 48. 54 plus 4 is 58. 6 plus 5 is 11. Placeholder 0. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45. Plus 4 is 49. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 4 is 9. When I add those together, I get this, and I have 1, 2, 3 decimal places, so I need 1, 2, 3 decimal places. But money doesn't have 3 decimal places. So we're going to have to round this to the nearest penny, and the nearest penny is to the 100th place. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or greater, which this is, add 1 more. If it's 4 or less, let it rest. But because it was more, we have to add 1 to the penny place value, which is the hundredths. So $11.09. Okay, this next part, if we have to remember that this means division, first of all. So these are all ways of showing division. And when we see it like this, a lot of times we do TIBO, top in, bottom out. So top in, bottom out. That means these two match because the top number went in, the bottom number stayed out. We would read this as 32 divided by 4. We would also read this as 32 divided by 4. Remember that if we're putting this into the house division symbol, this one goes in first. And so this also matches that. This one's going in, this one's staying out. It asked us which one does not match, which one does not belong. And so it's D, because this would be 4 over 32, or 4 divided by 32. And the rest of them were all 32 divided by 4. I hope that you feel prepared for our test, and if you need help, feel free to watch the video over, look at your notes, talk with a parent, send me a message. I hope you do so well tomorrow.